When we talk about writing a clean code, that time, most of the time, we'll think that it's a method of writing code without any kind of errors. But that's actually not true. When we are talking about writing clean code, it means we are learning from our mistakes. For example, if you make any kind of error, just make sure that you keep a note of it so that you won't be able to make that mistake again in the future. So, whenever we are talking about clean code, we don't mean that we won't be making any kind of mistake while we are writing code. It just means that whatever the mistakes which we made in the past, we'll learn from it and we'll make sure our code is very much clean in terms of not making mistakes which we already made and learning from the errors which we already fixed. So, what are the different ways to make sure that your code is always clean? If you are talking about theoretical concept, there will be so many jargons which you might have to learn whenever we are talking about clean code. But in general, I just want to make sure that you understand what exactly it means to actually write the clean code whenever you are actually coding something or building some kind of project. So, first thing is you need to make sure that you create functions. So, this might sound simple that whenever you are doing some kind of web development, and let's say that you are creating a component in React, that time you need to make sure that you divide the component properly, because when we say that we are creating many functions, that means we are just creating different component for making our program modular, and it will help us to not to repeat our codes and make sure that we'll be able to fix any kind of mistake easily just by fixing one particular function instead of copy pasting same code to multiple places. So just make sure that whenever you are coding something, wherever possible, put some function, and if that function needs to be called somewhere else, just use existing function call. Don't create new function for giving same functionality. Second thing is, don't use if else statement in a wrong way. Whenever we are learning if else statement, that is branched if statement, that time we might think that okay, if else, if else, so many times we'll be able to code. But when we are actually building some kind of project, you should avoid this at any cost, because whenever we are creating one function, that time we'll be able to handle this if else statement very easily. Just make sure that whatever the condition which you don't want to proceed in the code, you eliminate in the beginning only by putting if statement with negative variable answer for it. For example, if you don't want to continue the program if the input is not odd number, then just make sure that if input is not odd number, just eliminate there itself, saying like return the function. You will be able to continue the function only if it is not odd number. Don't put like if it is odd number then do this and else do something else. That is going to get complicated very fast in your big project. So just make sure that if you don't want to let function continue, just put one if statement with any kind of negative property inside it, and just stop the execution of the function if you don't want to continue based on that particular negative condition. Third thing is, if you are using JavaScript or pretty much any kind of modern developed language, that time just make sure that you use try catch wherever you can with the asynchronous request instead of using synchronous programming. What happens is, whenever you are doing some kind of programming, that time if you use asynchronous function inside it, usually async await in JavaScript, if you do that, what happens is you don't have to stop the execution of the program and give any kind of a problem in terms of rendering something else. For example, if one website loads up, then inside those small things that can be loaded later also. You don't need to load it whenever the program just starts, and you don't have to give that much load to it. If you use asynchronous function with maybe loading functionality, that time whenever the website loads, it loads up, then you might put some kind of loader inside it so that user can wait for that particular thing to load, instead of putting it in the beginning only with synchronous. And when we say synchronous, that means it won't be able to load entire thing until and unless everything gets loaded. So asynchronous programming will make sure that it will not block the program from running. It will just wait for something else to happen, and by putting loader in it, you will be able to make sure the program looks amazing whenever you are executing with, of course, loading functionality, instead of just blocking the execution of the program itself. Last point I want to make here is just try to practice these clean code techniques every single day and implement it one by one whenever you are coding new project. What happens is when you learn these new projects every day with the clean code experience, that time you will be able to learn each and every concept in it, and you will be able to make sure your code stays clean, and you will be able to optimize your programming as well as your skills as you learn from these new projects which you are building. So that's it for this video, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel for watching more videos like this, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.